If we are a mother and we are spending time in business, people judge us. One of the ways that I got round it was I can do certain things that can help me, but I can't control what other people think. Stop trying to control it because we'll waste a lot of time and a lot of energy. Only go towards things that you can control. Only try and change things that you can control. Stop saying yes to everything. To have the work-life balance that I have now, I have to be very selective of what I say yes to. When I'm doing that, I'm thinking to myself, hi, I'm Kerry Fitzgibbon, an ADHD fempreneur, multiple seven-figure business owner, and Facebook marketing ninja. Together, let's unleash AI-powered Facebook marketing to take your business from best-kept secret to the top of your niche and beyond. In this week's episode, we're talking about the reality of running a business as a female entrepreneur. I'm going to be sharing with you how to balance work-life balance, what it's like to be a female in the coaching and speaking industry, and why it's absolutely fantastic to actually be a female entrepreneur, and some of the strengths and some of the cool things that I guess we have the advantage over males with in the industry. But before I start, I want to share with you a really, really cool tool that I've been using in my business to help me to be able to manage work-life balance and to be able to get a lot more done as an ADHD fempreneur. And this cool tool is actually a site where you can hire outsourcers for as little as $5. Sometimes a little bit more, but the site is called Fiverr. So Fiverr.com. We'll leave a link in the notes, but it is a place where you can go and hire people to do pretty much absolutely anything that you want. So if you are struggling in your business to find time to do absolutely everything, and there's some tasks that you can actually give to someone else, like even when it comes to graphic designs, building websites, writing email funnels, and all sorts of other things, even bookkeeping stuff and whatever else, there's a site called Fiverr where you can go and essentially, even if you want someone to juggle chainsaws for you, you can find that person as well. So go check out Fiverr if you want some little bit of helping hand with some of your day-to-day stuff. It's a really, really cool tool that I love to use. So let's jump into being a female entrepreneur, or especially an ADHD female entrepreneur. The first thing I want to talk about today is, I guess, the work-life and family life balance. Okay. And it's really, really difficult, especially if you are starting out in business, to be able to, I guess, manage that. Okay. And even more so if you have ADHD, because it's even more harder to balance that whole work and family life balance, because of course we know that many a time with ADHD we go into a hyper focus. So if we are hyper focused on building our business, the rest suffers. And it's as simple as that. And so one of the things that I found when I jumped into my very first business over 13 years ago is that I did struggle with work-life balance. My children, I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. In fact, no, they were a little bit younger, a 1 and a 3-year-old when I first started doing this, the entrepreneurial lifestyle. And I was finding that, I was having to stay up into all hours of the night to get things done so that I could grow my business and so on. So it really had a big negative impact on my relationship with the children's dad. And I was tired a lot. And I guess I probably didn't really work the work-life balance and family life balance as well as I should have in the early stages. And the other things that we are faced with, I guess, being a female entrepreneur and having a family as well, is the feelings of guilt all the time, because we have so much pressure on us, more pressure than, let's just say males out there. We have pressure on us to be there for our children. We are the mums if we've got children. We have to, there's so much pressure on being there for your kids, being there for your partner or your husband, being there for other family members. And then you're also trying to do your business and run your business and so on. And it's really, really easy to feel guilty if you are not around and you are not putting all your energy into what people believe that you should into your life or your children and so on. I love to go back to it actually really seriously, in this instance, takes a village to raise children. And, and what I did in the earlier stages, and I just want to share this story with you, and you may be able to relate to this as a business owner, and especially if you're starting business or if your business is growing really, really fast and you're finding that you need to sprint with your business. So put all the effort into it, because later on that there's going to be rewards. But during that time, so I had some years where I was being invited around the world to speak on stages about Facebook marketing. This is my expertise. I, hyper focused on how to run Facebook ads. I know how to do them really, really well. And people knew that. So I was going around the world speaking at conferences, speaking at events, being called out to go and see businesses. And so I spent a lot of time traveling. And what actually happened from that is that I'd send photos of me traveling and speaking on stage and doing all this stuff because I was super proud of it. This is something I dreamed of doing. And all of a sudden I'm living my dream. And I had people starting to comment on my socials. What about your children? Oh, where are your children while you're away? And things like that. And it was such a big focus on, well, how dare you be away from your children? Those poor kids, how are they coping with you being away so much? And I don't know whether you guys can relate, but that's the pressure we have. If we are a mother and an entrepreneur or a business owner, and we are spending time in business, people judge us. They judge us for not being there for our kids, and especially when they are younger as well. And it's strange because not strange, and I used to feel guilty, and I used to have these people leaving these comments and making me feel even worse about it. And then it'd be like, well, who's with your kids while you're away all the time? And this all the time. Right? Business. I wasn't away all the time. I was traveling a lot, but when I was with my children, I was super focused on them as much as I can be. So this is the stigma that we have. And it's interesting because I know I've heard this from other people, and I'm curious if it's happened to you as well. But it used to be, oh, well, they're with their dad. So while I'm away, they're with their dad, right? And their dad used to say things like, if some people would say, oh, where's Kerry? Oh, what, because he wasn't able to go to the pub with his mates or whatever it might be. Where's Kerry? Oh, well, oh, yeah, I'm being stuck babysitting the children. Who hates that comment, babysitting their own children? It's not babysitting, it's your children. You're doing what you should do to them. You're being a dad and so on. So that was one of the things that gets my absolute goat with all of the stuff. And I know that it's frustrating for us mothers, ADHDers, business owners, entrepreneurs, that we feel guilty, we struggle with work-life balance, we feel like other people are judging us, and sometimes, to be honest, they actually really seriously are. So that's the first thing that we have to tackle. And one of the ways that I got around it was not giving a flying about what anyone else thought about me. I had to actually literally step back and go, their opinion of me, what they think about me, has nothing to do with me. It's actually none of my business. And there's a good old saying, I can't remember it exactly, but what they think about you or their opinion of you is none of your business. What they think is none of my business. And so I had to step away and go, I don't need to enter into what is their problem, not my problem. I need to stay in my own lane, do my own thing, know that I'm a good mum, know that my kids love me and they're being cared for, whether they're being cared for by me, whether they're being cared for by their dad, whether they're being cared for by, girlfriends that have babies, the village, essentially, grandparents and so on, that they were okay. And that I was doing what I was doing. So that was the first thing. I had to let go of other people's opinions of me and trying to please everyone. And as ADHDers, that's one of the things that we do really well. We do that so well. We need everyone to love us. We need to say yes to everything, and we need to please everyone. Right? So letting go of that. It's not always hard, and I don't always succeed in it, but for the most part, it's helped me get through. I stop when I'm starting to feel guilty. I stop when I'm starting to worry about what other people are saying, and I'm hearing what they're saying. It still happens to this day. And I have to go, that's nothing to do with me. What's their problem? Are they jealous? And so on. Because, we know, even as, ADHD is that there's a lot of people that just don't get us because they're not the same. Okay, so that's the first thing I had to do was, and the second thing was stop caring what other people think. Know that everything's okay. The second thing goes with the people pleasing. Stop saying yes to everything. I had to have the work-life balance that I have now. I have to be very selective of what I say yes to. And when I'm doing that, I'm thinking to myself, if someone asks me to do something or an opportunity presents itself, which it always does, will this help me get towards my goal? So will this help me get to where I want to go? If that is or will it slow me down? Or is it a distraction? Those are some of the key things that I have to ask myself. Will it help me get to where I want to go? Is it a distraction? Or will it slow me down? Because if it's a distraction and will slow me down, it's a no. So I just say no to it. Don't need people please. And trust me, you don't need to give people reasons either. We always feel like if we say no to someone, that we have to give them a big, long explanation as to why we're saying no to them. We don't. Neurotypical people don't do it. We, for some reason, have to give them, and then we overcompensate quite often. And so if we say no to something, we have to give the big reason, and then we offer something else that probably will take more time. It's just a simple, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. And that's it. So that was the second thing. First was don't care what other people think. Second thing was saying no more often. And I even do it with clients now. I do not, I'm very selective with the clients I work with. I have had people that are, I guess, time vampires and drain energy. So we know as ADHDers, people perceive us to have a lot of energy, and we can. We are typically living in this high vibration of energy, which I don't even know where we're getting it from half the time, but it's there. But the opposite to that is that we have this big fall, right? We have this drop. So we have so many people plugging in their bloody cords into our energy, sucking it all from us. There's going to be a crash. And it might not be this week, this month, this year, but it's eventually going to happen, and it can end up with burnout. And I never believed this because I went on high adrenaline, high stress, saying yes to everyone and everything for so many years. My crash happened perimenopause. That's when it happened, and it all just came crumbling down. And this is a year or so ago, okay? And still have moments. So work-life balance, can be a bit of a struggle. But if you just take into practice saying no more often, not caring what other people think, and when you say no, you'll find that you actually have a little bit more time, and make unconditional things. No matter what, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to go and do that thing I love doing. For me, it's running. That's unconditional. I go running, except on days off where I have a little sleep in, which is great, but running. And the second thing that I do here is the make money before you do anything else in your day. So I do a task that will produce money in my business. So then it doesn't matter what else. So that's the first thing there, is the work-life balance. I hope I've given you some skills and strategies there to be able to cope with that. The second thing with I guess, being a female entrepreneur, especially in the speaking, coaching industry, is, and I'm going to say this, and this is, I actually hate saying this. I actually hate that this is the case, but I know many of you women out there who are in the speaking coaching industry will 100% back me on this, because you would have seen it yourself, is there is still sexist behavior. We are still not taken as seriously as our male counterparts. And it's not every industry, okay? So I'd love to hear from people that are quite the opposite. And I'm sure there's some really, really top influencers out there that are finding different. But if you look at the equivalent male counterpart, they seem to have it a little bit easier. And I want to just share some stories with you that you might be able to relate to, because if you like me, it's really, really frustrating. I am top of my game. I am one of the best, Facebook marketers out there, and I run really successful Facebook ads, and I run a successful Facebook agency, and I coach and I train people, and I get invited onto all these stages around the world to speak on the subject because I know a lot and I get amazing results, and I'm a Facebook preferred partner. Yet, I still am competing, and I have to compete 3 times harder than males in the same industry that seem to be taken a lot more seriously. And I see it time and time again because I go to these events. When I turn up to these events as what I call the token female, right? That they're big events and it's full of males in most industries speaking at these events. And you'll get 1, 2, or 3 females at best, unless it's specifically a women in business event. And even those women in business events, some of the keynote speakers and the top panelist speakers on there, they bring males in to speak on things that us females are more than capable, better than capable, highly experienced in, but they've done that as well. So I see it time and time again, and I see in this industry that people will tend to trust the male on the subject if they're speaking about it, and I think it's because they are I guess more testosterone, more authoritative, and we have a softer nature and maybe even a softer voice as well. That's what I'm taking it down to, where they are perhaps believed or perceived to be more authoritative. So that means they are charging more as well. So I'm finding in this industry men are charging more. They are perceived a lot differently, and it's a real thing, and I never actually thought it was, and I actually even hate to say that because I'm certainly not a feminist. I certainly know that I'm powerful and I can do as much as men can do, if not more, and I'm better than. But when you've seen it in the industry time and time again, and you've turned up to events where you're the token female, or you actually look at sales pages, go look at a sales page of an event and you've got keynote speaker, male, right? Unless it's a woman who's really, really top, In the Facebook world, we get Murray Smith. Murray Smith is amazing. She's the Facebook queen. She does really, really great organic content, and she gets asked to be a keynote speaker. But you look at the room of people that she speaks in as well, and the rest are males, and we see it on webinars and so on. So I don't want to really, go this whole feminist movement here. I just want to just talk about if you are finding that you are having to prove yourself more, you're having to do twice as much to 3 times as much work to get people to understand, believe you, hire you, and so on. That to, even if you're in the corporate world, to jump the steps to get a bit higher. It is a real thing. It's not just you. I want to, help you with that. It happens in the industry. I don't know where it can stop. I don't know how this can change. All I know is that we have to, as female entrepreneurs in this world, especially the coaching and speaking type of industry, we have to just keep showing up, trusting ourselves again, and I think probably knowing our self-worth a bit more as well. Men charge more and people pay more is what I'm seeing because they have better self-worth than we do. And especially as an ADHDer, we have even lower self-worth. We will give things away for free to do the people-pleasing side of things. We have the imposter syndrome that comes through as well, which, is an ADHD quirk. I call them quirks, and all this other things playing against us. And then you're a female in the industry as well. So like I said, all I do nowadays is I show up. I know if someone's going to work with me, the investment that they have to pay to work with me, and I select people as well, and I just don't budge from that. And I can only, and actually I was at a mastermind the other day because I'm continuing to educate myself as well. And I was at a mastermind recently where one of the people that was speaking said, and I love this, is stop trying to control things that you can't control, right? We spend so much time trying to control things like, all right, this thing that you can't control, there's nothing you can do about it. I can't change the industry. Me as one person cannot change what people perceive between a male and a female in this industry. I can do certain things that can help me, but I can't control what other people think So stop trying to control it because we'll waste a lot of time and a lot of energy. Only go towards things that you can control. Only try and change things that you can control. And if you can't, then you literally need to slice that away and move on. So go, all right, I know that's bugging me right now. And I have this all the time. I know that's bugging me right now, that I can't control the fact that Facebook is its own being, and that, an ad account has, is the price of ads have gone up considerably, or has been disabled, or has been hacked. I can't control that. I can only control what I can control. I only control what I can control. So with this whole male-dominated kind of industry, I just have to keep turning up being me, and I hope that you guys do exactly the same. Keep turning up being you. Only control what you can control, and be a badass in your own industry, because people will love that, and have a little bit more, I guess, just love yourself a little bit more and be kind in this business world, being, having a family, being an entrepreneur. For me, going through perimenopause, you could be in anywhere in your life, and that be kind to yourself, because it can be a little bit of a rough ride. But the next thing that I want to talk about is, okay, so we know that being a female entrepreneur, and not just being a female entrepreneur, but being an ADHD female entrepreneur, that we can struggle with work-life balances and family balances. We know that sometimes it can be a bit male orientated, and there's things that we can't control there as well. But there's a whole heap of cool things about being a woman business owner or a woman entrepreneur, and also having ADHD, is that we are so resilient. We can handle things way better than most of our male counterparts, and also most neurotypical people out there as well. We have really, really high intuition in our business, and so we are able to often see things or predict things before they happen, which means we can start, let's just say if it's something that's moving into something that's not so good in our business, we're able to either pivot really quickly or come up with solutions a lot quicker, okay? If it's something that we are intuitively feeling and moving towards in our business that's going to grow our business, we're able to do that a lot better, quicker, and easier. The issue with our intuition is trusting it. You have to trust it. You have to know that your intuition as an ADHD, the way our brain works, is we have the spidey senses of a psychic. And in fact, many of us are. So we have to trust and lean into that and know that it's okay and it's going to be okay. Our worst thing we can do is not trust it and listen to others that are, think they know better. We know more than most out there. So intuition works really, really well for us females, and especially us female ADHDers. We can handle stress a lot better than most people as well, right? So we're really, really good at, if stressful situations come along, because we can do 101 different things, and we're used to stress. Like, we're used to putting stress on ourselves, doing things last minute, putting off that thing that we find we need to do that. So we're used to high adrenaline, high stress, and quite often that's how many of us function. So we're very, very good if a stressful situation comes along in handling it really, really well. Much better than most others out there. So very, very good at, high stress, stressful situations, and so on. Also pivoting if we need to. Look at the pandemic, for instance. Many businesses had to pivot. They couldn't do what they were doing because it relied on people getting out and about. It relied on people visiting their establishment. It relied on people, for instance. So we, as not just female entrepreneurs, but ADHD female entrepreneurs, are able to find solutions. We are fantastic at problem solving. We can problem solve really, really well. So with the problem solving side of things, we're able to easily pivot if we need to, because we're dealt a problem. We go, so the first thing, can we control it or can we not? If we can't control it, then we need to move on and think of something else. But if we can control and pivot, then we are very good at doing that very quickly. And that also helps with our growing our business, and building it to 6 or 7 figures and so on, and doing it a lot quicker, easier, and better than perhaps some of the other people in our industries, the males, the neurotypical, and so on. And one of the other benefits that I find, and there are so many, in fact, but another one is resilience as well. We're really, really good at, perhaps being knocked down, perhaps like being ostracized, being, put in certain stereotypical situations, also putting our own foot in our own mouth in some situations and so on. We're really good at coming up from that and bouncing back, very resilient and so on. I've had many a situation where I've had to be super resilient because of things that I perhaps have got myself into, to be honest. My big mouth, like being able to, sometimes I will unfortunately speak before I engage. So it comes out, the brain engages a little bit later. And I'm sure many of you can experience this. We often overshare. Sometimes something will come in and we'll just tell someone it, and then we'll go, whoa, okay, perhaps we shouldn't have done that. So it can be good and it can be bad, okay? There's two sides to that. It's got me in a little bit of trouble over time. But when it's done that, it's been, actually generally for the good, to be honest. But it's bouncing back, being resilient, knowing, okay, well, this is something that's happened. What can I do to turn it around and turn things into positives as well? So, if I had to choose, if I had to, be born again, and I had a choice, hey, Kerry, you've got a choice, when you're lining up for all your things, if this is what happens, and I've walked past I'll have some of that ADHD pile of stuff, if I had the choice again of, hey, Kerry, would you want to be a neurotypical, or do you want to be neurodivergent, so have ADHD? And if I had that choice again and I could go back to the start, I 100% can tell you now I would choose ADHD over being neurotypical. And not discounting you neurotypical people, because our neurotypical people, we need them. They're the people that like the boring tasks that we don't like. They're the people that are going to help us be a little bit more stable and support us. They're the people that can be our rock and we can turn to when the world has gone crazy and our brains exploded, right? They're the people that keep us in line when we've got all these brilliant ideas and things like that. That's when I turn to my neurotypical person to help me, to structure me, to help guide me. But they need us for our creativity, our ideas, our energy, our spunk and spark. And, they're saying that 70% of entrepreneurs are ADHDers. I reckon there's probably possibly more, okay? The thought leaders and so on, they are ADHDers. So if I had my time again, I would 100% continue being ADHD. And of course, you don't get to choose, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't want to be a neurotypical. So I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. And if I had, born again, I'd be still a woman as well. I love being a female. I love being a female entrepreneur, and I love being a female entrepreneur with ADHD. And that's why, one of the reasons why I actually started this podcast is because, yes, it hasn't been easy getting that work-life balance, getting, being a female in this world, being a female with ADHD in this world, being, all the quirks that go with it has been bloody hard. It hasn't been easy. And with all the self-doubt and the continual criticism of myself and so on going on, it's been a roller coaster, right? But I've gone through it. And I've done it, and I'm not saying I'm out the other side, because I certainly am not out the other side, but I've been able to build these successful businesses. I've been able to build several multi-million-dollar businesses with all this stuff, and I've been through it all, and had the children with it, and I've had the breakup, and I've had the single motherhood stuff. I've pretty much done everything there possibly is that would go against it, and survived through it, and and come out on top and been successful. So I hope that, what I'm doing with these podcasts and how, with my ADHD Fempreneur brand is helping others, helping you guys being able to know it's okay to not be okay. Ride through those ups and down moments, but celebrate the successes and and I'm hoping I'm guiding, being a bit of a guide because I've been through that. So I hope that, some of this information resonates with you, that that it helps you along your path of being a female entrepreneur or a female ADHD entrepreneur, that some of this stuff helps you to be able to continue to forge forward and know that, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there's a massive community of us that can all help and support each other along this crazy but fun journey. If any of this resonates with you, you are in business, you're an entrepreneur, or you're an ADHD fempreneur in business, if any of this resonates with you, you want to know more, make sure that you do subscribe to whatever podcast channel you listen to, whether that be Apple or Spotify, and join and follow me on social media on my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and make sure that you do, give me a 5-star rating and let me know what you want to hear about next. Let me know how I can help you more. I'd love to hear more your story, and how I can help, and how I can help and how this community can help you more. So make sure you leave a comment, and I will see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me. If this episode helped you get your business one step closer to the top of your niche, then I'd love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't let your journey end here. Connect with me and my community of like-minded female entrepreneurs at Kerry Fitzgibbon on social platforms. I look forward to helping you build your business.